Everything's got sun damage here. So a couple realizations that I've had recently that I want to document and process. Today's Mother's Day, and I've really been for a while now, probably the last 8 to 10 years, been on this feminist journey, is the best I could describe it. I was taking a tour at Bastyr University in Kenmore, Washington. It's a holistic university. And I was there taking a tour with my nephew who's into holistic stuff, and I was considering becoming a holistic practitioner. However, it is a 4-year program, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and there was no way I could see myself financially being able to afford it. I did walk around and look at other programs that they offered, and one of them was women's studies. And at the time, I was like, why would we need a class for that? And that sat with me. The students there were trying to explain to me a little bit, but I had never heard of that before, and I didn't realize, because I wasn't educated or knowledgeable enough about the struggles that women had gone through. I had experienced my own struggles, but I didn't know it was like a global thing. Growing up, we didn't have internet. I couldn't just Google it. I didn't have all the knowledge I have today. So that questioning why we need women's studies really opened up a door in my mind to ask more questions. I dove into the history of women's rights and everything that women have gone through for a long time now. Not realizing that even today, women are still not treated or created equally. Now that I am older and a lot more knowledgeable and spiritually aware, I realize that the struggle has more to do with the magic that women hold and the creation power that we were capable of, and nothing to really do with feminine versus masculine. That's just like the cloud, right? The cloud of smoke that everyone wants you to focus on to create the division. In actuality, it's more of a dominating and controlling our power. Not to diminish the male role at all, but the male role has definitely diminished the female energy and light for centuries for a reason. And that is worth exploring. Why, right? What is the reason? Why has the feminine energy been just torn down I mean, to the point where women could not get a job, women could not go to school, women could not do anything without a fucking companion or a chaperone or a man's permission, starting from her father, who controlled the family, and then moving on that power to her husband, who then controlled her. And why? You know, why were women being controlled? For what reason? And the only reason that is the most obvious reason is because we are powerful, we are creative, we create life, and another possibility is that we are more powerful when we unite together, and we can create more, right, when we're together. And so a lot of women were kept in seclusion, were divided, still are divided by rumors, by social statuses, by you name it, judgment against others. And then any woman that would speak out or question the authority or have an idea would then be institutionalized. Which just seems really crazy now. We're in 2026, okay? And 100 years ago, that's pretty much how women were handled. Why? Right? Why is the question? What is the problem with a woman speaking their mind? Right? And so much energy has been focused on dominating, controlling, that the male role has altered also. Because the male role was never meant to be straight, testosterone, and masculine energy. None of us life portals were meant to have an extreme amount of either hormone. It's all about balance. We are here to learn the balance between the positive and the negative, and the so-called feminine and the masculine, and the light and the dark. Everything needs some sort of balance. And by trying to dim the feminine energy and, I don't know, place the masculine energy on a pedestal, we ruined that balance. And now that we're coming into this feminine era, like a pendulum, that balance is being pushed further with extreme force towards the feminine energy, right? And we see that where the feminine energy within a person is being pushed so far over, and the masculine energy is being pushed so far over in another direction, that we are now pushing the gender boundaries, right? And gender doesn't exist. We created that too. But in order for the common mind to understand, we use words to describe things, and those words don't even describe them. They just kind of categorize them for us to make a little more sense of them. And one of those things that we created was gender differences. The problem with the gender roles or the gender differences is that they don't exist, okay? We created them. So now that we are challenging all these roles, all these ideas, and people are just expressing themselves however they want to, which is natural, there's a lot of confusion, and then the dominant energy of trying to control things is becoming upset, right? It's getting angry. We are pushing past this control. I bring that all up because today is Mother's Day, right? A day to exalt or acknowledge the motherly energy. And with that said, we have also confused that, because motherly and fatherly energy is the same fucking energy. Yes, the human with a penis and without a vagina cannot create life on its own, and the human with the vagina without a penis cannot create life on its own either. They both need to come together in balance to create life, right? And a man can have this parental energy also, and that's all it is. Motherly, fatherly energy. It's just parental love for children. It's the division of that has been confused by the titles we've given it, the masculine and the feminine energy titles, father and mother. Yes, we balance each other out, and we also have both of those energies within us already. We are both that masculine and feminine, that estrogen and testosterone. We have all of that, and like the saying goes, the wolf that gets the largest is the ones that you feed the most, right? So if we're feeding that masculinity, then we're going to be a little more masculine. If we're feeding the feminine, we're getting a little more feminine. There is no positive and negative when it comes to the energies. It's just an energy of love. The parental energy is just love. It's care. It's nurturing. It's disciplined, but it's also sensitive. It is both masculine and feminine combined. One cannot exist without the other. So today, on this Mother's Day, I am reminded that, just like that movie, when I was growing up in the 80s, there was like this movie about a man staying home and taking care of his kids, which was like a weird thing to do. But if we take out the roles, the male, the female, and it's just a parent taking care of their child with love and discipline and structure and guidance, that makes a lot more sense, right? I think the movie was called Mr. Mom or something. Today, I want to also give thanks to all the masculine mothers, right? And the more feminine males. There is no real big difference other than the differences and the judgment we place upon these roles. I watched a movie just this week about the feminist movement and how it was in the 60s and how it is now in 2026, and the differences and the imbalances that used to be compared to what they are now. And we've come a long way. And in the movie, the woman said, "Why do we need a day for women?" And the answer to her was, because all the other days are for men. Which doesn't ring true to me, because we also have Father's Day, right? But it was the women's independence movement, and the day to celebrate women, right, was the Women's Day. We don't have a day on the calendar to just celebrate men, because we haven't created it yet, right? There's a day to fucking celebrate donuts and everything else, but there hasn't been a need for a day to celebrate men or to put it on the calendar. I feel like these days are kind of cool for some people, because some people need to maybe think and acknowledge these roles and these things. But if we could just do away with all these special days and just celebrate each other every day, acknowledge each other every day, accept each other every day, instead of just one day a year or one weekend or 1 month. We wouldn't have the division. It's almost like that one day is exalting and dividing even more. So that's kind of where I'm at today with the Mother's Day thing. It's cool, you know. I'll take a day of being treated a little more with respect, but I don't have any other days where I'm not. So it doesn't really stand out to me as a special day, because I treat myself kindly, and my son and my husband treat me the same every day with kindness and love, and I don't feel that there's a need for a special day for me. However, I do acknowledge that maybe in some people's lives, they are still struggling, and they do need that recognition and acceptance, because we are not at a place where we have achieved that complete balance yet. Not everyone, right? That balance is within. Each individual person has to achieve that balance. It's not a collective balance that we are achieving. It's more an individual balance that then, you know, trickles and allows others to be balanced around them as well. And we're still working towards that. We are still swinging on the pendulum, like really far, you know. So have the day you want to have. I hope that made sense.